Now, if you've been thinking about buying a brand new TentBox tent, but you're still not 100% sure on which model you want to go for, well, just to add a further spanner into the works, TentBox have just released a brand new model of tent called the TentBox GO. It's a new lightweight tent that's completely different than all the other models that they have available. And in this video, I'm going to go through all the features. I'm going to talk about the pros, the cons, and whether I feel this is the game changer that a lot of people are saying it is. Or is it just a really big fancy pet carrier like I've seen in some comments online? I'll go through everything and you can make your own mind up. So sit back, relax, grab a cup of coffee, and don't go anywhere. Get it? Go anywhere? I'm going to get straight into it. Hey guys, what's happening? It's Chris here, and firstly, I just wanted to say welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, remember to give me a little subscribe and have a good look round on my channel. I've got a lot of videos, lots of TentBox videos, lots of TentBox reviews, lots of camping videos, lots of accessory videos. I've got a lot of stuff on this channel. So remember to subscribe if you want to see more of my content in the future. And don't forget that in the description to this video and every video that I've got available, there's lots of links and discount codes available for the various different products that I use, including a discount on a brand new tent box, so be sure to check that out. Now, I've been reviewing tent boxes on this channel now for the last 4 years. I've slept in every version of a tent box and I own a Lite XL. And I can honestly say, after seeing this tent up close and personal, that I truly believe it could be the game changer that people are saying it is. It could open up the world of camping and tent boxing to a lot of people who previously couldn't get access to it. So I'm firstly just going to start off by explaining what the TentBox GO is. Okay, so it's a new tent that's a completely different concept than all the other TentBox models. TentBox are describing the TentBox GO as a slimmed down, trimmed down version of the other tent boxes, which still has the same high quality, but just lacks some of the features of the other pricier models. So all the previous models of TentBox range in weight between about 50 kilos and 72 kilos. So the lightest one's 50 kilos, the heaviest one is 72 kilos. Now, I've already mentioned that the TentBox GO is lightweight and it weighs 33 kilograms, but I'm going to explain now the two reasons why that's very important. The first one is to do with how much weight that everybody can carry on top of their vehicles. Now, this is something called roof load limits, and I'm not going to explain that in this video because I've done a separate video which explains in more detail what roof load limits are and explains a little bit more about what that means, and that's really important and something you should watch after watching this video, and I'll put a little card up in the corner so you can connect to that video. Now, basically, every vehicle, your vehicle and my vehicle, will have a limit as to how much weight it can carry on the roof of the vehicle. It varies vehicle to vehicle, and some are higher limits and some are lower limits. Now, some vehicles have lower limits, let's say 50 kilos. And what that means is essentially the smaller vehicles, those vehicles with 50 kilo roof limits, are only able to carry 50 kilograms on top of their vehicle, which basically means in the past, those vehicles have only been able to access the TentBox Lite 2.0 because the other TentBox models are too heavy to fit on them vehicle roofs. Now, there are some vehicles that have even lower roof load limits, let's say 40 kilos, and those vehicles have previously in the past not been able to have a tent box on top of their vehicle at all. So the great thing about the TentBox GO, weighing 33 kilos, is that it's very light and it means it will be able to go on them vehicles that previously haven't been able to carry a tent box. And for those vehicles, the ones that have been able to have the Lite 2.0, it allows you to have another option as well as just the Lite model. Now, the second reason why the lightweight nature of the TentBox GO is a good thing is because it's easy to move around. It's easy to store, it's easy to put it on your vehicle, it's easy to lift it off your vehicle, and if you do decide you want to store it away, whether it be for the winter or while you're not using it, it's far easier to move around the TentBox GO than it is some of the other models. Now, there's another reason why the TentBox GO is important, and that's to do with the price. Now, rooftop tents are not cheap, okay? You can get another tent, a ground tent, for far cheaper, but generally speaking, you're looking at a higher price to enter the roof tent market. Now, previously, the cheapest model of TentBox was the Lite 2.0, which currently retails for $1,295. But the TentBox GO comes in at $995, and at just under £1,000, it makes it far more affordable and far easier access for somebody who's saving up to buy a tent box. Now, in a moment, I'm going to talk more about the features and highlights of this tent. And I'm also going to talk a little bit more about some of the things I love and some of the things I'm not too sure on with regards to this tent. But just before I get into that, I want to give a shout out to the sponsor of this video, All Powers. Now, if you're looking at buying a TentBox tent or you already own a TentBox tent, there's a very good chance that sometimes you're not going to want to stay on a campsite. You're going to want to stay off grid in the middle of nowhere by yourself. And in them situations, it means you're probably not going to have access to electrical hookup and you're going to need something like a power station. Now, All Powers basically make portable power stations and solar panel kits. And this one I've got here is the R600 power station from All Powers. It's basically a big battery pack. It's got lots of different connections on the front. It's got 3-pin plugs. It's got USB-A and USB-C sockets. It's got a cigarette lighter socket. And it's also on the top got a wireless charging pad. It's really snazzy. It's got lots of connectivity. You can control it via a Bluetooth app and keep an eye on all its levels and all that kind of stuff. And it charges very, very quickly, either using the 3-pin plug in your house, the cigarette socket in your car, or you can connect a solar panel to it and charge it while you're on location using the sun on a sunny day. It's a really good piece of kit and I never travel on my adventures without it. If you head into the description of this video and all my videos, you'll find my unique link. It'll take you through to the All Powers website and you can get a really good deal on an All Powers power station as a thank you from me for watching this video. They do bigger sizes than this as well, so if you need a bit more juice while you're on location, be sure to check out all the models of the power stations that All Powers have to offer. So next, I just want to take a moment to go through the features and highlights of this TentBox GO. Now, as I've already mentioned, it's a lightweight design and I've already explained why that's important. I've already mentioned that it will fit on almost every vehicle. Now I say almost because you still need to check that you can get the roof bars for your vehicle to make sure you can put a tent box on in the first place. If you need to be sure about that, reach out to TentBox, speak to one of their product specialists, and they'll be able to advise you on what roof bars will be best fit for your vehicle. Now the TentBox GO is a 1 to 2 person tent. It will not sleep a family. So if you've got more than 2 people who are looking to sleep in a roof tent, you need to look at the Tentbox Lite XL. That's the tent that I've got and you can find review videos on this channel. I'll put a little card up in the corner. Take a look at the Tentbox Lite XL, which is a 4-person tent. It's much bigger and much roomier for a family of more than 2 people. Now, unlike the other TentBox models, this tent arrives flat pack, a bit like a piece of IKEA furniture. It takes 45 minutes to an hour to initially set up and assemble the tent in the first place, and then it takes about another 20 minutes to install it on your vehicle. Once you've got it set up, to open the tent and close it each time you use it, it takes about 60 seconds, which is super quick. Now, even though it's a lightweight design, it's a very well made piece of kit. If you're one of those crazy people, like myself, who likes to go camping up in the West Highlands of Scotland, in the middle of nowhere, in gale force winds, you'll be pleased to know that this TentBox GO is rated up to gale force 8 or 39 mph winds. While I'm talking about the weather, it's also worth mentioning that this is a 4-season tent, so it's great for not just the summer campers, but also the winter campers as well. Now, I've already spoken about the weight of this tent for fitting on your vehicle, but I want to mention here the internal weight of what you can have up in the TentBox GO when it's on your vehicle. The TentBox GO, just like the other models of TentBox, is rated to hold up to 300 kilos inside of the tent. Now, because it's a 2-person tent, all you need to make sure is that whoever's sleeping up in the tent, whether it's just one person or 2 people collectively, don't weigh more than 300 kilos. If you're under that number, you'll be absolutely fine with this tent. Now, I've already mentioned that this tent just takes 60 seconds to open up and set up when you're out on location. You just pop it open, attach the ladder, then insert the poles inside and you're good to go. My TentBox Lite XL, it takes a little bit longer. It takes 3 to 4 minutes to set up. Now, we're only talking the difference between 1 minute and 3 to 4 minutes, but one of the things I loved about buying a tent box in the first place was the simplicity of being able to go on location, pop up your tent, get into it quickly and settle down for the night. And that's what's great about this TentBox GO. Now, this leads me on perfectly to one of the other great features of this tent, and that's that you can store your bedding and pillows and blankets inside this tent when it's closed up. Now, the only other tent box that can do that is the TentBox Classic 2.0. And that's a really big benefit because, like I said in the previous mention, being able to pop the tent up quickly is great in itself. But if all your bedding and pillows are still inside, and you particularly if you turn up on location and the weather's not particularly great and it's raining, you can just get up there quickly and everything's inside what you need to settle down for the night. Now, another great thing about this tent is that unlike the Lite models, the TentBox GO will stay in the footprint of your vehicle because it just pops up on top of your vehicle instead of opening out off the side like the Lite models. Now, some people love this and I'm a big fan of this as well. It means that if you're sleeping in a parking space, unlike the TentBox Lite, which comes off the car, taking up 2 parking spaces, the TentBox GO, just like the Classic 2.0 and the Cargo 2.0, pops up on your vehicle, meaning that you're only taking up 1 parking space. And this is also really handy if you're deciding to stay in laybys where you need to keep as tight to the pavement as possible. Now, I've already spoken a little bit about this tent and how much weight can be stored inside. The other great thing I like about this tent is that it's got a really long ladder, so it'll pretty much fit with most vehicles. So if you've got a really high vehicle, such as a van or something like a Land Rover Defender, the ladder will extend up to 2.6 meters, which means regardless of the height of most vehicles, you'll still be able to access the tent with your ladder. Now, I've seen a few people wondering about the mattress situation inside this tent, so I'm going to explain that a little further. Now, the other models of TentBox, the Lite 2.0, the Lite XL, the Classic 2.0 and the Cargo 2.0 all have a foam mattress inside, whereas the TentBox GO does not. Instead of there being a foam mattress inside the TentBox GO, what you have is a stretched fabric base, and it's similar to what you'd find on a fold-out camping bed. There's a stretched fabric that's under tension, and there's an additional pole that can be inserted in the middle when there's 2 people sleeping inside the tent. This will stop the fabric dipping in the middle of the night and prevent the 2 people rolling into each other. Another thing I love about this tent is all the doors and windows that are available. It's got 2 side doors, a rear window and a skylight, which is perfect for stargazing on those clear nights. But it's also worth mentioning that all the windows and doors come with built-in fly netting as well. So if you're up in Scotland in the summer and you're trying to avoid those Scottish midges, close up your fly netting and you should be good to go. One thing I think looks really good about this tent is the amount of doors and windows and ventilation that it's got to create a really good airflow. Down at the bottom of this tent, there's an extra little flap which you can pop open, which will provide extra ventilation, hopefully reducing condensation down to a minimum. Now, I've already mentioned that this is a lightweight tent, but I wanted to also say that it doesn't sacrifice on quality. It's got the same leading fabrics and the same manufacturing build as all the other TentBox models, including the YKK zips, and every seam is sealed for the best weather protection. Now, I felt it was good to take a moment just to talk about the colour options available for the TentBox GO. Now, every other model of TentBox has a few different colour options available. Now, as of the time recording this video, the TentBox GO only has 1 colour option available, which is a darker colour, like a black colour. But actually, the positive of this is that it's really good and really dark on those mornings, keeping the light out. It'll keep it pitch black inside, which is perfect for those of you who are not morning people. Now, everything you need for your TentBox GO is included in the box as part of the package. You get your ladder, the fitting kit, the tent, everything is there to get the tent on your vehicle and get you out having an adventure. But there are a couple of other things that are available which I think are really, really good for this tent. And the first one is a storage bag. Now, I've already mentioned that this tent is lightweight, which makes it really easy for taking off and on your vehicle. But the great thing about the TentBox GO is that because it all packs away, using the additional storage bag that's available, it's easy to take your tent off your vehicle, disassemble it and store it in this storage bag and put it somewhere out the way, which means you don't have to leave it on your vehicle all the time. Now, there's a couple of other things I love about this tent, and that is that the length of the tent at 210 centimeters is great for slightly taller people such as myself. But that's not the only thing I love. This tent has a kink at the bottom, which you can see in this video footage here. And what that means is while you're lying on your back in this tent, while it's erected, it means that your feet have got a place to sit at the bottom without your toes touching the top of the tent roof. And I wish the TentBox Cargo had this, because that was a real problem for me when I had my TentBox Cargo a few years ago. Now, there's one more thing that I really love about this tent, and it's actually nothing to do with the tent at all. It's to do with one of the accessories that comes with the tent, when you buy it, and that is the storage pocket and tablet holder. Now I'll explain why I love this. Now I recently slept in the TentBox Go 2.0 to review that tent for this channel, and one of the things that features is a storage pocket and tablet holder. Now I've mentioned this in the review video for the Go 2.0, but what I found as a tall person is that those pockets and tablet holder were too far down the roof of the tent for me to actually see what was going on with the tablet. When the tablet was slotted into the clear pouch, I couldn't actually see what was on the tablet because the angle made it impossible. On the Go 2.0, I felt the pockets should have been much higher up. So one of the things I love about the TentBox Go storage pocket and tablet holder pocket is that it hangs down in a position where you can actually sit up, prop yourself up with some cushions and pillows, and watch the tablet from a normal angle. It's far better, far easier, and I wish the Go had the same design. Now I've talked a lot about the features and benefits of this tent, which I think are very positive, but in the spirit of impartiality, I think it's important to also talk about some of the things that I'm not sure about with this tent. Now, firstly, this is a stripped down version of a tent box which lacks some of the features that other tent box models have. And TentBox have been upfront about that, and they've said, you know, it is an entry level tent into the market. So let's be very clear. It has to have some features that are missing from other tents. Otherwise, what's the point in buying one of the other models when you can buy this model with all the same features? It doesn't work like that. So for example, one of the things it sacrifices is the foam mattress, and instead it has the stretched fabric base. Now I'll talk a little bit in a moment about the topper that is available to buy for the TentBox Go, but ultimately having a stretched fabric base instead of a foam mattress is a slight sacrifice. Now, in order to get the tent down to a lightweight size and get the price down, they've had to take a few things off. Another example would be the TentBox Go and the TentBox Go have similar clamshell form factors, but the TentBox Go opens manually, so you have to lift it up and use pulls to keep it up in place. Whereas the TentBox Go has a thicker base, a thicker roof, and it uses gas lift struts to lift it up into place. But like I said, you can expect the same features from the TentBox Go as you can from the TentBox Go, which is more than double the price. It just doesn't work like that. Now, some people will see this as a positive. Other people will see this as a negative. It entirely depends on your point of view, but I just thought I'd mention that there are a lot of features missing from this tent which are in some of the other models. Now, I spoke a second ago about the additional mattress topper that is available to buy for the TentBox Go, but I first must make it clear that this is not going to be the same. Even if you add this in on top of the fabric base, it's not going to be the same as having one of the foam mattresses in the other TentBox models. In the other models of TentBox, the mattress is the same and it's all made of foam. But this mattress topper that they've made available for the TentBox Go is actually an air foam hybrid. So it's not going to be as thick and chunky as the other foam mattress in the other TentBox models. Now, some people may not be bothered by that. Some people think the other mattress is too firm anyway. You're only going to know by sleeping in it. But just so you're aware that you can't expect, like I've said, the same feature and experience that you get in the other TentBox models with this TentBox Go. Although TentBox have acknowledged that a topper not necessarily is needed, but should be made available, and you can buy that separately. Now, while I'm on the topic of mattress toppers, I think it's really important to discuss a bit about accessories and when accessories may or may not be coming out for this tent. Now, I've already seen a few posts from people saying, when are accessories going to be available for the TentBox Go? Is there going to be an insulation pod available? Is there going to be a tunnel awning available? Now, TentBox have given me a little bit of information to relay to you with regards to accessories for the TentBox Go. What they've basically said is kind of what I expected them to say, that they are looking into accessory options and more information will be revealed in due course if and when those accessories are ready to come to market. So they're not saying, yes, we're definitely going to have lots of accessories, and they're certainly not going to specify which accessories are going to be available. But what they have said to me is that definitely there will be additional accessories on top of the mattress topper and the storage bag that are available specifically for the TentBox Go in the future. It's just a case they've not saying when. So for those of you who are a bit impatient out there and thinking about buying a TentBox Go, what I would say is buy your TentBox Go and then just be patient and wait for accessories to release as and when they're ready. Now, what TentBox have said is that there are generic TentBox accessories available for the TentBox Go, such as the universal side awning and the boot bag, and those are available on the TentBox GO accessory page on the TentBox website. So for now, have a look at the generic accessories, think about the mattress topper and the storage bag, and beyond that, just be patient and wait for accessories to be released in the future. Now, I've already mentioned that this is a stripped back version of a TentBox, which is lacking some of the features that the other TentBox models have. And I've already mentioned that some people will see this as a positive and some people will see this as a negative. It entirely depends on your point of view and how you see camping in a TentBox for yourself. Some people want to keep it simple. Some people want as little faff as possible, but some people want something a bit nicer with some extra features, and it also depends on how you like to go away camping. I mentioned earlier about the original TentBox ethos of rock up and just go camping and just enjoy yourself. Whereas some people nowadays want to take the kitchen sink with them, everything with them, cinemas, the whole shebang. Now, I'm not judging those people, absolutely far from it. All I'm saying is you can have the choice as to how you want to go away camping. And some people like to keep it simple, whereas other people might see this TentBox GO as too basic of a version of a tent. It all depends on your point of view, but you're able to make your own mind up on that, I'm absolutely sure. Now, whichever version of a TentBox tent you do ultimately decide to go for, it's always worth mentioning that the TentBox GO, just like all the other models of TentBox and the TentBox accessories, comes with TentBox's standard 5-year warranty. So it means if you have any issues with your tent, once you've bought it, you can reach out to TentBox and they'll happily advise you on what to do next to resolve the situation. It's also worth mentioning at this point, just for people who don't know, that TentBoxes that are bought second-hand do not have a warranty. So a warranty, even though you get 5 years, is not transferable. So if you're debating whether to buy a second-hand TentBox or buy a brand new TentBox, there's an argument to say that even though you're going to save some money buying one second-hand, maybe it's better to buy one brand new because you've got that 5-year warranty as peace of mind if any issues arise. But just remember, you can use my discount code to get a discount on your TentBox when you order it to bring you a little bit closer to what could be a second-hand option if that's something you're thinking about. But just remember, you don't get the warranty when it's bought second-hand. Even if the tent is only 3 months old and it's never been used, warranties are non-transferable. So that's something that's really important that you should consider when making a decision. Now, if you're still undecided on which TentBox model you want to go for, like I've already mentioned, I've got lots of review videos on this channel for all the different tents that are available. So be sure to have a good look round on the channel after watching this video and you might find the video that you've been looking for. Now, regardless of which TentBox model you ultimately decide to go for, the main thing I always stress to everybody is just to get out there and have some adventures. We have done a lot of traveling, we go abroad quite a lot, we've done trips on our motorbikes, and we love doing various different types of road trips in our car. But having the TentBox has opened up a whole different world of options for us going away and having some adventures. And I know from speaking to so many people in the community, it's done the same thing for them. So like I said, regardless of what TentBox model you do go for, you'll be part of a really good community and it'll get you away having some adventures and having a good time traveling on the road. And that's what's important. Now, I hope this video has been helpful, and I know sometimes my videos are a little bit long, but I like to make sure that you've got all the information you need to make an informed decision if you're thinking about buying a TentBox. Now, I've already mentioned that there's lots of videos on this channel for you to look at, and don't forget, in the description to this video and all my videos, I've got various different discount codes and links, not just for TentBox tents, but other accessories as well, which can help you build a camping kit if you're thinking about buying a TentBox and going away and having some adventures. So be sure to check out the links in the description for more information. So, like I said, I hope this video has been helpful. My cat has just come up to see me because it's feeding time and he wants some love. Don't you, buddy? Mwah. So that's it from me and Ziggy. I'm going to say a fond farewell. Remember, if you've got any questions, pop them in the comments, or you can reach out to me through the Choc Chip Travels website or Instagram. I'll happily get back to you with any questions you've got. Remember to give me a little subscribe and like this video if you've enjoyed and want to see more of my content in the future. Hopefully I'm going to see you on the road at some point in the future, and if I do see you or you see me, come over and say hello. It's always lovely meeting you, and until next time, have a great adventure and I'll catch you soon.